So, welcome to this pre-event for the Swedish-Ukrainian Partnership Forum that will be held in Sweden next spring. The purpose of the meeting of this event is to give more information about existing municipal partnerships between Swedish and Ukrainian municipalities, information about how you can be supported to find a partner and develop a partnership, and how you can be participating in the partnership forum in Sweden in 6 months, and together with your Ukrainian partner that you have hopefully found by then. We will start by giving the word to Martina Quick. You're the Deputy Head of Mission at the Swedish Embassy in Kyiv, in Ukraine.
Yes, that's
Welcome.
correct. And thank you for having me here today and letting me say something at the beginning of this meeting. I'm especially glad to be here at this occasion because from the very start, Sweden has supported the reform of decentralization in Ukraine. And this is a reform that has helped Ukrainian municipalities to become successful local governance entities. Ukrainian local governments plays a crucial role in building and upholding Ukrainian resilience in times of the Russian full-scale war. By organizing civil defense, by protecting critical infrastructure, by ensuring mobilization and resistance, and by taking care of IDPs, veterans, and their families. Municipal relations between Sweden and Ukraine benefit both our countries. For us, it's a way of showing support for Ukraine and for the Ukrainian people during this war. But having a partner in Ukraine also means that you would have the possibility to learn from Ukraine's experience in building resilience, in rehabilitation and treatment of war traumas, socialization and integration of vulnerable social groups, including IDPs and refugees from war. There are actually many Swedish municipalities who have already found counterparts in Ukraine. And I can only encourage you, if you're interested, to follow their example. Support for Ukraine, as you already know, is the top priority for the government of Sweden. And we continue to support Ukraine's reconstruction and EU accession. And there are many opportunities to develop municipal relations for the benefit of both sides. So I hope that you will find this event inspiring and interesting, and I also invite you to join the second Swedish-Ukrainian Municipal Partnership Forum that will be arranged in May next year. So once again, thank you very much for participating, and I'm also looking forward to the rest of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Martina. Thanks a lot for those words. Our next guest is Marta Suprun. Marta,
hello.
You have been with us since the very start of our endeavor to create partnerships between Ukrainian and municipalities from other countries. Could you tell us a bit about what we can offer municipalities that want to have a partner in Ukraine?
Absolutely, Magnus, thank you very much, and thanks a lot to the Swedish Association of Local and Regional Authorities who are doing so much since the start of the Russian full-scale invasion to support Ukrainian municipalities and for their interest and courage to develop municipal partnerships with Ukraine, and also to be the best friends for Ukrainian municipalities to reach far beyond, to reach other EU partners, to learn more from other countries, to get in contact with EU institutions, which is also a big focus for our initiative. So I will also introduce myself. So I am Marta Suprun, and I'm the expert of initiative Cities4Cities United for Ukraine, that has been established basically with the support of SALAR International with the start of war, which is developing municipal partnerships between Ukrainian and other European municipalities, of course with great focus on Swedish-Ukrainian relations. And I hope you see my presentation. I cannot see it in the screen, but I hope you do. What we achieved so far in 2 years. So we have 53 active partnerships between Ukrainian and other European municipalities like German, Swedish, of course, Polish, French, Italian, Belgian, and in some other countries as well, Moldova, and we also started with the United States of America. And these partnerships are actually contributing a lot to European integration of Ukraine and help Ukrainian municipalities to recover with expertise, with new practices and new ideas. Where did we start? With Swedish municipal partnerships. You can see in the picture the photos from SALAR's International Days in 2023. So my colleague and I went there. We knew about the 2 partnerships that were developing actively at that time, and we've seen the great interest of others to explore the opportunity. Another issue we learned is that it's a very serious step for Swedish municipality to have a partner in Ukraine or elsewhere, that you usually have your partnerships from very long time ago, like from 50s or 60s. And there is actually the question of what municipal partnerships could bring to support Ukraine, but how to make them also mutually beneficial for both sides. At the same event, we asked people who would like to explore this opportunity of partnerships with Ukraine, and we've seen lots of people raising hands saying, yes, we are ready, and this is how we organized our first Swedish-Ukrainian Municipal Partnership Forum in June same year, where 11 pairs of partners met for the first time in real life, and actually 5 letters of intent to develop partnerships have been developed. Today we know about 21 Swedish municipalities who has formal or informal partnerships with Ukrainian municipalities, and we definitely want to continue this success, and we invite you to contact us and to look for Ukrainian partners on our Cities4Cities website, where you have profiles of over 400 Ukrainian municipalities and information about them. And of course, these municipal partnerships that has been developed during the first Municipal Partnership Forum are your best advisors and your best role models of what can actually be done on the level of municipal cooperation between Sweden and Ukraine. And I would say that lots is going on, lots of very useful initiatives, from small steps to implementation of bigger joint projects, experience exchange visits has been going on. And so we encourage you actually to consult your colleagues, your peers who already went through this way, who visited Ukraine or had the delegations from Ukrainian municipalities in Sweden, to learn from their experience as well. And of course, we see that lots of exchange visits has been taking place. The waste management topic is one of the most urgent for Ukraine's local governance today, and this is something Ukrainian municipalities are really very eager to learn from. We will also have our colleague from the NGO Blåljus is Samverkan, I hope I pronounce it correct, who are supporting our municipalities with transferring dozens of communal vehicles to Ukraine, because as you know, many Ukrainian municipalities has given up their communal vehicles to the front line, and there is obviously a need in these vehicles in Ukrainian municipalities. There have been several youth camps arranged, and this is a project that I would especially like to encourage you to implement as one of your starting projects in your cooperation, because this is something that builds personal relations. You can imagine that Ukrainian young people who are very much affected by war could visit Sweden, could see the actual support of their country, could see other lifestyle, how the Swedish way of life looks like, and could have actually new friends in their sister cities. And of course, we encourage Swedish municipalities to learn from the resilience of Ukrainian municipalities in topics like civil defense and crisis management, how to arrange shelters and protect critical infrastructure in times of crisis. We will also hear about different cases of implementing joint projects, and these are just a few topics that are among the most common in this sense. And we also encourage you to explore other opportunities that are there to support your partnerships grow and develop. And of course, these are support from the Swedish Institute. These are the European programs. Ukraine has just joined as the point in its way to European Union, like Interreg Europe, Urbact, and many other thematic EU programs that could be explored and used to strengthen your partnerships and make them mutually beneficial. So how can you start? How can we start together? We encourage you to contact our Cities4Cities team for mentorship support, for organization support, to find the relevant partner with whom you could develop many productive cooperation activities. We are arranging bilateral meetings, online, offline. We could be your best friend in arranging also visit to Ukraine, of course, and we will hear about this experience later on. We will support you in drafting any kind of formal document that you might need this way, and warm welcomes to our second Swedish Municipal Partnership Forum in May.
Thank you, Marta. Very useful. Thanks a lot. We have seen that the partnerships with Ukrainian municipalities have developed in different ways. We see that one important element, of course, is the possibility to meet in real life. This morning, I met with Tony Ring, who is the president of the executive board of Karlskoga municipality in Sweden. Welcome. You were absolutely bubbling with impressions from your visit to your partner municipality, Shepetivka. And we also have with us Olga Petrova, your advisor to the Mayor of Shepetivka. Yesterday you had the chance to really have a real dip in your partner municipality to see a lot. Could you tell me, Tony, what was the most important thing about having this real life experience?
Well, we talk a lot about Ukraine and in Karlskoga a lot about Shepetivka, but it's one thing to just talk about something, see each other in different digital meetings and so on, but now I really got the possibility to meet Olga and Vitaly and all the people in real life, and also the possibility to see how it was in Shepetivka during these difficult times, and also how they handle all the challenges and so on. And I say, I'm really impressed, but I'm also very, very happy to see that they have a way to live an ordinary life, and I see so many similarities to how we live in Karlskoga nowadays, even if it's a totally different situation in Ukraine at the moment.
And you, what was it to have this chance to meet in real life in your municipality?
This is a brilliant chance to meet each other because personal meetings are extremely important. It's not enough just to read about Ukrainian newspapers and see the news. You have to feel the situation and to understand what's going on. And I thank you, Tony, for your bravery to come to us. And it's very important to have ambassadors abroad, ambassadors of Ukrainian idea, and it's a chance to be heard and seen and to tell the world what real life is, because Ukraine is facing hard times, but we still go at work every day, we still go with our children to school, and we want to try to live ordinary life, and international communication is very important in translation this idea.
Thank you. Have you discussed any future steps of your partnership? What will come next?
Oh yeah, we have discussed different things. Waste management is really something that we have spoken a lot. We have already had a workshop digitally, but we have a lot of ideas what we could be able to do together. Crisis management for us, of course. I mean, we prepare in theory in Sweden now, in all Swedish municipalities, they really prepare for everything. But theory is one thing, reality is something totally different. I think there was the mayor of Lviv said this morning. So we really have a chance to see how, for instance, yesterday we went to a school. It was a school with 961 students. And my first question was, of course, where do you have the shelter for 961 students at the time? Because in Shepetivka, unfortunately, the air alert is on quite often, so you have to go to a shelter. And the thing was that they flex between the groups, so there are never more than 500 students at the time in the school. But still to have 500 in the shelter, it's a challenge. But I've seen how they do it, and this is something that I definitely need to go back home to my schools and say, have you even thought about this? Because it's a huge challenge if you should try to keep on studying, which you should, of course, even in rough times.
As Tony said, in 2 days we created a couple of ideas. We will work next month. We are already planning digital event between the same departments in our communities, and I think it will be great. We will talk about crisis management in communities, and we're also talking about project management, international project management, for our community to be able to applicate with the help of our partners in different grant opportunities.
Have you also been talking about the possibility to engage civil society and companies in your respective municipalities in closer contacts?
I would say that the civil society is definitely one of the parts that should be in this meeting we're planning now to have in just a couple of weeks. Companies, that's maybe the next step that we can also try to involve. But right now we said that these functions that Olga talked about is the first step, and then maybe we can just extend that.
And will there be a visit from you, Olga, and your organization to Karlskoga too?
Sincerely talking, we dream about the visit because we also want to feel the vibe of our twin city. I hope that we will be able to manage that, and I hope that our decisions and our steps we will take will be useful for our partners too.
It should be mentioned that sometimes it could be problems for representative of Ukrainian municipalities to travel to Sweden to get the allowance to leave. There's no such problems for Swedish municipalities to visit Ukraine. Still, many municipalities are hesitant because they have problems to evaluate the risks of traveling to Ukraine. We have been discussing that, and we as SALAR International and as SKR, we have been given advice on security. We have also made possible for municipalities, member of SALAR SKR, to make use of the insurance that we have for our people traveling to Ukraine, meaning that municipalities can meet the requirements of taking care of their staff and politicians. So I think based on this experience, I think we should welcome more Swedish municipalities to actually meet their partners in Ukraine. And if they have any questions, they're always welcome to us for advice and services.
And I think actually in that case I can act as an ambassador, because I truly have to say that which people thought that you should go here, be afraid and so on. I'm not afraid at all, but you should have respect, you should follow the instructions, you should do it properly. But I haven't been afraid for a single time. But nevertheless, when you be woken up by the air alert the first time and it's for real, then you start to think a little bit. But when you do exactly what you're told and just having a check on where the shelter is and how you should behave and so on, it's a very, very, I would say, good in a special way experience, because then you will see on these topics when you're planning in your own municipality in a totally different way.
Thank you. You promised to be an ambassador in one more field.
Oh yeah.
You promised to use all your contacts with Swedish local politicians to also push for them finding a partner.
Yeah, and I think now it's in a way it's easy to do it, because now I really know what I'm talking about. Before we had these different meetings, we have had this agreement signed and so on, but now it's really you can really feel it when you have been visiting in real life. And also I can see how much we actually can in Sweden benefit from this cooperation, because normally with twin cities you try to help and you try to go there, and you know there was some of the other speakers this morning said it was like a stamp collection, you should have many twin cities. But I mean, this is something that both parts can have so much good out of, and that is what I should go back to Sweden and try to tell them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Olga.
Thank you.
I hope you meet soon again. We also have another partnership. Actually, one of those Marta was talking about, one of the ones that started already before the full-scale invasion. Hello, Bogdan.
Hello, Magnus.
Bogdan, you are the mayor of, sorry, I forget the name all the time.
Here I have a hint for you.
Kopychyntsi.
Yes.
Municipality, sorry. And you have had a relation with a Swedish municipality, Höör.
Yeah.
Since how long?
I think it was since summer of 2022.
Okay. So,
I have a mayor here speaking.
Yeah.
okay. Hello, Johan.
Hello, Magnus.
Johan Svahnberg, you're the mayor or the head of the executive board of Höör municipality. So
Yes.
you have worked quite a long time together, and as I understand, you have also developed a number of activities and projects together. Could you
Yes,
tell us
we
more
have.
about that, Johan?
Yeah, we started by forming a relationship during Midsummer Week 2022. After Bogdan reached out, and it turned out we had a mutual friend together. But after this, we started looking for projects that we could share with each other, and we found two, or three actually. We found one through the Swedish Institute, which we are currently working on. We found the ICLD network and the ICLD project. So at the moment, we're working on 3 different projects together that takes up quite a lot of time, actually. But it also means that Bogdan and his staff in Kopychyntsi has been able to make a couple of trips to Höör to visit us.
And you have not yet visited Bogdan?
No, unfortunately, no.
Let's talk about that
Yeah.
at another time. These projects, in which field do you say that they are?
With the Swedish Institute, we're working on accessibility project, which means we're trying to get Kopychyntsi to work more with accessibility in the city and within their labor force. So people with disabilities can join on equal terms the rest of the population in the city.
Excellent. Bogdan, what do you think Johan has learned from you and the exchange?
Oh, actually, yes, right. We were a couple of times in Höör. I was there 3 times, I think, and some people visited maybe even more times. And we see each other quite often. We also are in touch quite often. We're calling each other, texting each other, discussing different ideas about how to structurize in better way our management and our political lead of our municipalities. But in summer 2023 was one of the visits, and Johan and his team, the political team and executive team, they invited us again to speak more about crisis management, how we organized our territorial defense unit, how we organized our bomb shelters, and how we are fighting with the blackouts, how we manage all this critical infrastructure. Even today, we got another drone attack and into the critical infrastructure, electrical critical infrastructure of our region, not in our municipality, of course, but still, now we have some action plan what we do, and we're not that much afraid about it anymore. That's something that we can also share.
I know, Johan, that many Swedish municipalities are working hard to improve their capacity for civil preparedness and civil defense. Would you say that you have benefited much from the partnerships in your work on that?
We have. Bogdan shared a lot of insights which we couldn't have planned for. Knowing how people react in time of a crisis and war is essential for us to know how to plan. And Bogdan had several examples of what people did locally that perhaps you weren't prepared for. Before the war started, you thought people would act in a different way. You had one example, I remember that people started forming roadblocks in their neighborhoods. But those roadblocks actually made it harder for the government and the local government to go to different places within the municipality. And since the front line was so far away, it had no effect locally, but it did actually have this disadvantage. So we need to prepare not only how we plan for things to work out, we need to plan for what people will do that we're not prepared for.
Thank you. It's often said that this kind of exchange is not only about project, not only about relations, but also, and I think Tony touched upon that when you have a chance to see how things are done in another context, you don't copy, but you get inspiration, and you think, we could do something in that way. Have you had such experiences?
Yes,
from Höör?
of course, especially for this Swedish Institute project, the last trip about inclusivity. in the last group, I brought the chairman of the council, and he is very much into details of how the public infrastructure and the public works are designed. And I see he's like, even up until now, like it has been like 2 weeks ago, and he's still bombarding our public services chat, like, oh, look how it's done this way, look how we can do this way and that way. This is truly a good example. And also, of course, we adapt. We don't copy, we adapt, and we understand, okay, this works for us, this doesn't work for us. But I would say mostly this is about like interpersonal connections, because if as many as possible of my citizens have personal touches with her citizens, this would be better, I would say, diplomatic work. Maybe this will bring us to better understanding between our cultures, So it's not only decided on the top level, what are the relations between our governments, but it's also decided on the bottom-up level. And this is more sustainable, to my opinion. So, yeah, and even despite we're still waiting for her people to come to Ukraine, two council members were supposed to come visit us at the beginning of December, but they moved it to the February, so we expect. But even besides that, we had a lot of trips together already. We had a trip to Poland, we had a recent trip together to Brussels in Belgium, under umbrellas of different projects that we are taking part of. But also, we are just like connected as humans. This is also most important, I think.
When you're talking about this society connection, have you managed to get any formal or informal actions from civil society organization in your municipalities?
We were trying to connect, I guess, our youth organizations. Not sure how far. I'm not sure. Maybe this will be something that we can do in the future. Maybe Johan remembers something more about civil society organizations. Because like this summer we brought one person from the project manager from civil society organization, and last 2 weeks ago we also brought a civil society organization from a charity fund, one person. But did it grow to any like more projects or more cooperation? I guess it's still too early to say.
So I don't think any of our civil societies have formed a formal cooperation. We had one with the Scouts, but they weren't allowed to cooperate with us. They were different head societies. Now someone else is talking.
Okay. Do you think that there will be other municipalities close to Höör that could relate to municipalities close to your municipality? Is that a way to spread the connections?
I think so, of course, and it's also important that both of our municipalities are publishing about our visits, about what we do together. And I don't know about Johan, but I get constantly a lot of messages from the neighboring municipalities like, oh, can you help us? We're like so happy that you have this partnership. Can we extend this? So I feel there is a demand from Ukrainian municipalities, and we have quite a lot of quite progressive and with a nice capacity municipalities, but usually it's more difficult from the other side. I'm not talking about Sweden, but like generally about the other countries. It's more difficult to get people outside of their bubble, of the comfort zone.
And you, Johan, on your side?
Yeah, I've been in contact with a few municipalities. One formed a formal cooperation with another Ukrainian city after I talked to them, and two other municipalities reached out to me to learn how Höör and Kopychyntsi are working together. And after that, I understand both of them formed a cooperation with the twin cities in Ukraine. So it's really good to have these people that are interested in coming. But I think to get the most out of this, because I think a lot of the work with forming a twin city agreement is for the cities within the European Union to help the Ukrainian municipalities get EU ready. Because it's not only government to government that needs to make Ukraine EU ready, but it's all the municipalities within Ukraine that needs to understand what EU ready means. what are we doing within the European Union at the moment, and how will we make sure that the Ukrainian municipalities will be at our level once we accept them into the European Union? We can't just work from the top to bottom. We have to work from the bottom to the top.
Thank you, meaning that you are another of our ambassadors. Keep up the good work.
I can add that Johan. Yeah, I just remembered because through Johan's connection, the municipality of Nechvoroshcha of Poltava region got a partner city in Sweden. I think it was like 1.5 years ago. Yes, thank you, Johan.
Excellent, Bogdan. You are not only mayor of your home municipality, you're also the head of the platform for international relations of the Ukrainian Association of Amalgamated Territorial Communities, which is a long name for saying the smaller municipalities. And you have partnerships in other countries. What would you say is special about Swedish municipalities and having partnership with them?
I think about Sweden is that we have a lot of we had a discussion last evening about when Ukraine was organizing its decentralization reform, what country they were trying to get inspired of, and one of the ideas was Sweden, and I also agree with that. I don't agree that we got inspired by France forming our decentralization reform, because our municipalities are very similar in terms of size, in terms of this amalgamation when there is like a town and villages around, so it's easier for us to understand each other. We have similar functions, very similar spirit, you know. So I think that Swedish municipalities, Sweden is quite a decentralized country, and we can feel it, that a lot of things can be done on a local level, and that's what Ukrainian municipalities really like. And because we also maybe naturally, and also because of our structure, we like to make as many things as possible locally, following the subsidiarity principle. And I cannot say about many municipalities. Of course, for me, the model is Höör because I know them the most. And but I think it's not very different from other municipalities. So I think that this is what Sweden is for us, and a lot of my citizens and a lot of municipalities in Ukraine who are already lucky enough, like Shepetivka, to have partner cities in Sweden. They learn about Sweden not through what they read in news, but they learn about it, about what they talk. They learn through the people that they talk to.
Thank you. It's worth to mention that Ukrainian municipalities are actually quite a lot like Swedish municipalities when it comes to responsibilities. You're responsible for education from preschool up to upper secondary. Yeah. You are responsible for the technical parts of municipal work, solid waste management and everything like that. You have quite a lot to learn, Swedish municipalities, when it comes to administrative service centers. Yeah. Which is so impressive every time you come to Ukrainian municipalities and see these centers that provide such a number of not only municipal services, but also providing services that are owned by other levels of government. I think that's a place where something where we can learn a lot in Sweden. Also, you are responsible, just like Swedish municipalities, for firefighting, rescue services. And we mentioned, Marta, about that Swedish municipalities have also had the chance to give material help to Ukrainian municipalities by sending their not old, but a bit older vehicles to partners in Ukraine. And with us, I hope we have Per Johansson, who is working for what is called Blåljus i Samverkan, which is a Swedish organization formed by firefighters and policemen that has played, after the full-scale invasion, an important role in making this transfer of vehicles possible. Welcome, Per.
Thank you very much.
Could you tell us a bit about how this works in practice? When a municipality finds that their vehicle is to be changed. And instead of selling it, what can they do?
As for what we have done since March 2012, is encouraging communities and the communal regioner in Sweden to look at their vehicles and equipment who is out of use. And since 2022, we have helped a lot of kommuner and regioner in Sweden with just helping them to transport and see to the vehicles to get to their right destination.
Yes, because it's not only about getting a vehicle to the Ukrainian border, it's also to have contacts in Ukraine that make sure that it arrives in the right place.
Yes, and from the start, we got some good contacts that we have been working with. We have a logistical person in Poland, and we have in Lviv, we have a logistical person who helps us all with the custom papers, everything, and also for the deliverance to the destinations.
Which kinds of vehicles are we talking about? Is it mainly the one with blue lights on, or?
No, as for us, we have been, for an example, from Region Stockholm, we have been got 4 ambulances and 2 blood buses. So one of the blood buses went to Lviv, and it's been operating since the spring 2023. And now this autumn, we delivered a blood bus to Poltava. Poltava is the friendship town to Kalmar. And also we have refrigerator trucks, a couple of them also. Unfortunately, to be able to transport the deceased civilians and soldiers.
Okay, tell me, you're a voluntary organization. I think much of the work is done voluntary, but how are your actions financed?
We are financed by the Swedish people and some companies who assist us with funds. So we work especially with social media to try to raise funds. Also, we have a small shop we sell some products to get money. So that's why we don't get any public money. It's just from Swedish people and companies.
And I understand that you're not only transferring the vehicles, you're also making sure that they are in good shape before driving them down, and
yes.
often and also filled with important equipment.
Yes. We have a cooperation with a lot of companies in Sweden, from healthcare. We have also from car industry. We have a big car dealer who helps us with all the vehicles. So they have been fantastic. It's a lot of money from the Swedish companies just in helping us to get the equipment in order.
I understand that now Swedish municipalities are soon entering into a new budget year. They have a new investment budget, and they will probably buy some new vehicles. So the message, of course, is to don't sell the old vehicles, send them through Blåljus Samverkan to Ukraine. They will make good use there.
Yes, the problem has been that a lot of regions and communities take the outranged vehicles to auction sites, and that's a very big problem, because then we have the NGOs competing with each other to take the money we got from the Swedish funds and companies to buy these cars. So, for an example, a fire truck years ago was you got a lot, 50,000 Swedish crowns. Now it's about 200,000 Swedish crowns. It's same with ambulances. We could buy an ambulance for 50,000 Swedish crowns. Now it's up to 200,000.
So what you're saying is that when Swedish municipalities sell their own old fire truck, they get paid by money from voluntary organizations?
Yes, I can say, yes, exactly.
Okay, so it's a double benefit to donate them to you.
Yeah.
I think that's a very clear message. Thank you, Per, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
So this was the event, the pre-event, but we should also be talking about the event. To repeat, those of you that have a chance, contact the team of Cities4Cities, find a first selection of possible partners, get help to arrange a first meeting online where we could also provide interpretation, and then start to see if you are ready to meet in Sweden this spring for the second Swedish-Ukrainian Municipal Partnership Forum. Thanks a lot. I hope to see you in Ukraine next year. They are saying here, whispering to me, maybe there are questions from those online. But I don't see any questions. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.